Uh, First of all, I'd like to express my warmest gratitude and respect to all distinguished participants in this meaningful and historical IFLA Congress in Gwangju, where I was educated from middle school to universities, and I served as a middle school teacher for 2 years here in Gwangju City. And I'm very happy to meet you here, and particularly, I am very much proud of my experience working for the global green growth campaign and green growth movement during my minister term, 3 years, from 28 to 2011. And in this case, I'd like to emphasize the story of a small county, Tamian, in the name of Eco City Tamian, where the people themselves could organize to provide ideas, support, and bottom-up process in developmental programs from the people themselves to the cap or head of the local autonomous body of Tamian in the name of Eco City. So I'd like to introduce the paradigm shift or paradigm transformation of regional development programs very briefly. In summary, we could say that we could feel the severe need to transform the developmental stage to sustainable stage. So we can say that since 1970s, the world leaders or national leaders of the global community could have much concern about the strategy of national development with emphasis upon the value of sustainability, not growth or. Paradigm transformation of regional development policies could be briefly understood as growth model to sustainable model, or growth model to sustainability model. And we can say the significance of the policy of ecological city Tamian could involve such philosophy and paradigm transformation, because it maintains policy continuity and consistency for more than 20 years, and also it is functioning as a driving force for regional development by branding the value of ecological and cultural resources beyond the local environmental conservation policies. At the same time, it is evaluated as a leading case for regional development policies, not only for Korean cities, but also for all community partners in the world. At the same time, we can analyze that success factors could be found here in small area that could be able to be dispersed to other countries. Meaning of sustainable development and the framework of policy formation. Okay. 아니, 넘어가야지. 안 넘어가는데? Sorry. Yes. Okay. The meaning of sustainable development and the framework of policy formation could be briefly introduced in this way. First of all, changing the perception of the meaning of development should be understood by the people themselves. And at the same time, we could approach this kind of new transformation by three-dimensional approaches. As you see, economic efficiency is inevitable. At the same time, ecological sustainability should be respected. And also, social equity should be a good content for sustainable development. Then we could experience this kind of three-dimensional approaches in this small case of Tamian. And we could understand the background concept of sustainable development from the viewpoint of global community. In my experience, and in our experience of the global community, we could find lots of ideas rendered by the United Nations. In 1970, Stockholm is a famous city. Why? The human society began to recognize the value of quality of life instead of rapid growth in economic terms. Also, in 1992, United Nations could provide the environmental plus economical approach to human prosperity. So some people said at the time that two E are necessary for human society. One is economy, one is environment. And also we can find ESSD, environmentally sound and sustainable development should be pursued by human society. At the time, lots of experts and the United Nations could assist in this way. In many ways, for those programs could be planned by each country, each area. And in this century, 2015, you understand that SDG could be provided by the United Nations. So sustainable development goal. In case of Tamian, they have their own Tamian SDG, and they say the SDG goal. We should understand that there are some variables to bring about success in this kind of policy implementation, quite new to bottom level local autonomies. And we can see lots of variables in decision making and in planning, in project implementation and evaluation. These variables should be understood and reflected. Yes, so we can make this kind of conceptual map of ecological city policy. In case of Tamian, we can find basically 4 elements. The first one is the transformation of value system is quite necessary, and it should be understood by the people themselves, agreed by government employees at the local level. At the second level, transformation of spatial system should be understood and realized at the local level. In this point of transformation of special system, you have much experience and you have much relation with some autonomous cases like this. And third, transformation of a social system should follow together because software is playing very much role in this kind of transformation and change. And finally, promotion system or implementation system should be transformed together to bring about the success and effect of this kind of new approach. Anyway, sustainable or eco-city philosophy and practice are necessary for transformation at the bottom level of all communities in the world. I think so. The basic goals of the ecological city Tamian could be composed of four poles. The first one is the least polluted city, where nature and human coexist. Second pole, establishment of natural circulation system by restoring ecosystem and enhancing biodiversity or species diversity. Third pole, saving energy and resources and establishing an eco-friendly living system. Final fourth one, eco-friendly land use and amenity expansion. If we could succeed in this kind of four-fold system of transformation at the local level, we could expect to bring about some transformation from the growth level to sustainability level. Guidelines for the creation of ecological city Tamian could be composed of various ideas suggested by experts as well as people themselves, suggested by city areas and production, logistics, education, and various kinds of social relations. In this way, from ecological architecture and road and traffic management, power generation facilities in harmony with the landscape, use of natural energy, and rivers and mountains should be improved together, water resource protection and water quality management, and air management, noise management, vibration management, and waste management. At the same time, creation of management of cemeteries and landscaping to improve the quantity and quality of the green space, and creation of and the diffusion of eco-friendly design culture should be involved in this kind of guidelines for the ecological city planning. Promoting the garden culture and making and creating some gardens involved in this kind of approach. As introduced, I worked for the Suncheon Bay International Garden Exhibition, and also Tamian is at the small level. Gardens could be involved in the traditional heritage to modern programs for transformation. So if you have chance to visit Tamian or Suncheon, you can find the reality or in field or on the spot programs that could be relative to this kind of garden culture. I'd like to emphasize that the increasing some gardens, particularly called community gardens, could be characterized by the ideas, participation, support by the people themselves at the community level and at the regional level. we could have some indicators to be involved in planning to evaluation and in projection to analyze. This kind of sustainable development programs could be made into detailed indicators so that the people should understand this kind of composition of planning to implementation. By doing that, the people could join together and the understanding of gardens to ecological city could be dispersed among the people themselves. Major achievements of the small ecological city Tamian policy could be summarized in two ways. First one is visualization of an internationally leading ecopolis programs. So some international organizations, non-governmental or private organizations could join together in this Tamian autonomous body for making new changes at the bottom level. And at the same time, the Korean central government could designate this small city as the best green city so that the other cities or the other county areas could follow the preceding case of this small area Tamian. And secondly, I'd like to say that the leading sustainable development could be possible through the establishment of eco-first government or administration system. We have lots of difficulties and obstacles in transforming the local autonomous systems, particularly lots of legal and constitutional systems are sometimes obstacles or providing difficulties in changing at the local level. So we should contact with the central government to promote the new transformation programs to be possible at the local level or at the bottom level. And in this way, we could succeed in making various kinds of planning projection system, evaluation system, and support system by central government or by upper level autonomous body, provincial government. And the communication and cooperation or collaboration between the implementation organizations and planning or council systems. And also university professors and the specialists like you could provide the local government, small Tamian city government with lots of ideas and recommendations and educational or awakening programs. In addition to these two factors, increase in income or revenues could be successful in case of eco-tourism. Why? The people at the local level did not know anything about garden tourism or eco-tourism before. But in the course of transforming themselves, they could understand the need to harmonize between the economic revenues and brand values of pride or value itself. Also, increasing farm household could be possible with the eco brand known to across the country, and by doing that, in Seoul agricultural markets, the products from this small area Tamian could be popular, and lots of clients could have much concern about the relationship between small city Tamian and mega city Seoul. In this way, a new kind of way of life could be possible through the eco value system. So we can say eco economy could be possible by maximizing the utilization value or the user's choice. In this way, we can illustrate one thing, bamboo economy or bamboo programs. Tamian is quite famous for growing much bamboo forest. So bamboo is used in various ways for economic uses to landscaping and constructing and lots of art activities. So World Bamboo Expo could successfully be held in 2015, 7 years ago. And the bamboo industry are now enjoyed by 109 companies located in the bottom level small eco-city Tamian. And the industrial complex could be called eco-friendly industrial complex or Meta-Provence, they call, and the name is well known to Korean visitors or tourists in taking after the images or brands of Western culture. And also Yeongmaru Gil means road, you know. Yeongmaru Road provides the visitors from across the country with new, fresh way of life in the name of Eco Road or Eco Way. They have one lake for farming irrigation at the first stage, but now the lake is used for multi-purpose. So in the course of programs against the climate change, this kind of water protection or water management facilities are emphasized. So the people living there are now proud of having this kind of new lake for multi-purpose. And it is very interesting to find the new fact that some people are coming to this rural area in spite of the fact that most of Korean local communities could lose the population owing to the decrease in birth rate. Korea is located at the lowest level of birth rate in the world. So almost all governments at the local level are very much afraid if they could lose too many populations, then they could not maintain anything at present. So in this situation, eco value or eco economy or eco city could bring forth the youngsters from cities to the rural areas, and bamboo economy could be fresh ideas for new generations. So Tamian could succeed in attracting the people from cities to rural areas, and we could look at this Tamian case with much care about the alternative to solve the problem of low birth rate. It's quite interesting. You could see at the bottom level the slow city located in Tamian. Slow city concept is enjoyed by young tourists in Korea. So the slow city network could be possible between countries and between regions. So Tamian is also initiating this kind of slow city campaign. And eco concept, slow city concept, and natural concept could be integrated together in bringing new concept of economy to the people living there. It's also interesting to find that the central government designated this Tamiang area as a special zone for humanity education. The humanities education is emphasized by anybody, but in reality of school system, humanity education cannot be observed. So we are afraid the youngsters responsible for the future generation are too much economic oriented or too much race oriented. So we ask the people themselves to have some room in psychological or emotional way of life. In that sense, Tamiang is quite characteristic in providing programs for residents to be familiar or aware of the value of humanities. And I like to say that this kind of cultural approach, like humanity education, is very much recommendable to most local communities to enjoy the hopeful future. So this kind of special zone or cooperation between local and central governments could provide regular schools with new approach to education, at least in this area. So regular system could be given some impact by the private or eco education. So anybody living there could provide more momentum for regular schools or institutional schools to be inspired in green value or eco value. Now, I'd like to briefly introduce some success factors and some obstacles. Yes, in terms of political aspect or social aspect or cultural aspect, we have some possibility and capacity of local people to transform their own way of thinking and life. In that sense, I am very happy to introduce the small case of Tamian. Also, some success factors could be found in terms of participants. I'm very happy to say that the people are very happy to understand the philosophy and the will of the local government leadership. And also, government officials could succeed in changing their mindset, their mentality, from conservative to transformational one. And also, cooperation of local councils is very important in bringing success. In many local areas, councils and government officials are going separate way. But we could watch the integrated success of this small area. And also, experts' contribution is very important. Success factors of Tamiang could involve this contribution by experts. And success factors in terms of implementation could involve some organization innovation and some institutional reform. It's very important. Anyway, civil service should be changed, and also the local provisional attitude of various kinds of ordinances to support sustainable development could make it accelerating. So success factors could be understood in terms of implementation methodology. Implementation could be possible through the establishment of vision and strategy of eco-city policies. Anyway, eco-city policy was quite strange to the people living there, but now they are fond of such kind of new value, and we were very happy to find that National Assembly Environmental Forum could invite, and also United Nations or some OECD organizations could invite the leader of this kind of programs to introduce to nationwide or global participants. And now formation of policy clusters or linkages is quite natural. And also we could evaluate of this area as domestic and foreign specialist contribution were quite important and successful. So we can say domestic and foreign specialists could show their interest in this transformational procedure of the small area. Now, I could say that during my ministerial terms, I could introduce in the name of first mover of green growth to global communities. Before green growth campaign, green and growth could not go together. But since the start of green growth movement in Korea, now worldwide communities could understand green and growth come together. So sustainability could be composed of green plus growth, or all-round way of approach. One thing, conclusion is a lesson could be said in this way. Anyway, eco-orientation or sustainability orientation can be a good triggering device for transformation hoped in global communities. And government officials and representatives of the peoples and the residents themselves could be equipped with consciousness and enthusiastic passion toward this new transformation or new change. It is quite necessary and essential. And thirdly, revelation of obstacles and system conversion for regional innovation could be found in case of Tamian. So the story of Tamian could be of some help and recommendation to other partner communities across the world. Finally, anyway, in politics or in administration, consistency, continuity is very important. But in reality of politics or in reality of administration, such kind of consistency or continuity are not ensured. So in the name of eco-value, asking for long time or the length of time could provide the people an idea to emphasize the value of consistency and continuity in spite of political changes. So now I am very much grateful to all of you for listening to the small story of Tamian, and I finally hope you to enjoy the rest of your stay in Korea. And in addition, I hope to see you again in this Korea or in your country. Thank you very much.